Welcome to the Kpopcast, bringing you the best sounds and ideas in K-pop each week. And this week, we'll discuss twice the feels. I'm DJ Peter Lowe, and joining me this week, it's your tech kid by day and K-pop kid by night. Your girl group enthusiast. It's Lai Francis.
Hey everyone, what's up? What's good? You have to deal with me again in another episode. So great to be back. So excited to be talking about Twice and the feels and how they get me in the feels and how they get you in the feels. So yeah, let's get it. Let's get this going.
I paused there because I wanted to say like all facts, no lies.
Oh shit, you want me to do that? No!
I love that group call sign.
Okay, fine, I'll do it. I have to do it in English. I really don't want to do it in Korean because that's so bad.
No, you don't have to.
I'll do it in English.
No, you don't have to say anything,
okay.
Lai. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So, following Lai, it's Nayeon's bestie. And our favorite neurovascular physician, it's Dewey. What's going on, Dewey?
Hey, how's everybody doing? As usual, I'll promise you the most unbiased, biased Twice reviews.
Welcome. And last but not least, joining us again, it's Mia B, musician, K-pop lover, grad student, and K-pop cover artist. Welcome, Mia.
Thank you for having me again. I had a blast last time. I'm excited to talk about Twice because I'm a huge Twice fan.
Yes, we got all the onces for this episode. So that means I'm at liberty to say that this song is not Daebak and talk about all the bad things about it, and you guys will cover me.
All right,
I don't think it'll come to that.
All right, let's rock and roll. Today we'll be talking about Twice, the feels.
And we'll let you know if this song is Daebak or not.
I got the face for you, yeah. You have stolen my heart, oh yeah. Never let it go, no, never let it go, Lightning straight to my heart, oh yeah. I got all the feels for sure, yeah. I got all the feels for you. Boy, you know, I know I get the feels. Boy, you know, I know you feel it too. Boy, you know, I know I get the feels. Boy, you know, I know you feel it too.
All right, so this is a first for the K-pop cast. We're choosing to compromise on our morals and do a reaction. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're choosing to do a reaction together. The thinking here was that obviously we've already seen this music video before, but just to really make sure that we're kind of all grounded on the same page for the discussion. And you, our listeners, hey, you can listen along and relive vicariously the experience with us as we go through it. So without further ado, Lai, would you like to hit the play button?
Yes, we're going to watch this video and everyone has a liberty to pause and make some comments in between, I believe. Right, Peter? Right,
Yep,
Pilo?
yep.
We're good? Yeah. And then, yeah, let's have some fun. So I'm going to be pressing it in 3, 2, 1, and go.
This is so exciting.
It's prom.
I'm so curious, but your boy wanna keep it cool. But I know every time you move.
So are they dressing for prom?
Yeah, it's like they got an invitation to prom.
They're still in their school outfits, you can't tell, right?
Yeah.
The coolest school outfits I've ever seen.
Yeah. This is a very upgraded, mature version of Yes or Yes,
Right?
as I
Yeah,
would say.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those vocals. Go, Gio.
Diane's got lines.
Yeah. She got some.
Yeah. Can I just say how beautifully elegant Mina looks like? But she's always like that, though.
Wait. So what
Okay,
outfit
okay.
is this now? So is this...
I'm going to pause this here for 1 second. I'll tell you a little anecdote about what happened here. So my wife and I watched the music video separately. She was putting the little one to sleep, and I was watching the older one. And I got a text from her, and she just asked, did you see Nayeon's outfit? On my end, I had to ask which outfit, right? Because I knew which outfit she was talking about, right? That's how fire it was. I wasn't going to get in trouble, right? And tell her, yeah, I saw the fire outfit of Nayeon. front and center, right? So, I mean, as usual, she's always front and center, usually in the chorus. And here, JYP's keeping that same formula. And I think that's going to be a recurring theme that we'll talk about tonight, right? Which is not too much has changed in terms of the formula that JYP has had for a lot of the K-pop songs or K-pop, the Korean comebacks that they've had. So,
but on screen right now, we're looking at what before they were in 90s Clueless plaid outfit, and now they're in.
They're like homecoming
Generation
outfits.
O. What?
Yeah,
I feel like it's homecoming outfits. That's what it looks like.
looks like cheerleading homecoming outfits, right?
Yeah.
Upgraded
okay.
cheer up outfits.
Yep.
But yeah, the outfits are fire. I'll leave it at that.
They really are. And I wonder if we already passed this part. Oh, I feel so bad if we skipped it. But I think there's one part where Momo is singing in front, and then they're all kind of playing around in the background. And
yeah.
I don't know if you guys read about this or saw this somewhere, but it's kind of like a throwback to the Knock Knock video when they're all like fooling around in the background and throwing things at each other while someone's singing in front. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like Knock Knock and Likey.
And Likey when she's doing the...
Yeah. Yeah.
We all know.
It's fan service in it. It's awesome.
Yes, I love it.
All right. Since I stopped it, I'll start it again.
Yeah. Here, go for it.
Oh, there it is. I love it.
I love those vocal slides. The feels.
I want to just give a shout out to Sana rapping here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
It's so refreshing to hear.
So underappreciated.
Also, I think this is the first time we see... Yeah, I think this is the first time we see male backup dancers with Twice.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
It's prom queen Mina, guys. Everyone have a moment.
Just steals the crown.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's like a heavy Micheng agenda that's being pushed around with this promotion, with the US promotions, and also with Chaeyoung being center, which is pretty interesting to see from JYP.
Oh, sorry. I kind of missed what you said there.
Oh, no problem. So I was saying how in the US promotions, it looks like they're pushing Chaeyoung as center.
Yep.
Yeah. If you see like all of their promo, she's always, I don't know, there's so much talk around her and she's always in the center. And not only that, but the way that there's so much interaction between Mina and Chaeyoung, and everyone knows like there's that Micheng agenda. It seems like they are pushing that towards the Western market because they know that there's kind of a niche for it. So it's interesting to see it here.
Oh, yeah,
I
totally.
totally agree. She opened the song essentially, right? And and the most one of the catchiest parts is the the boo and the fool, right?
Yeah.
And the intro and all the teasers that they put out, I think Chaeyoung's voice was the main one that we heard. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll keep going.
Don't say sorry. You're good.
Good, yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah, so yeah, their prom outfits, but then they have their school outfits as well.
Tell me, baby, what's the deal? Oh, one look and I know it, baby. My eyes reveal that you give me the feel. So yeah.
I want to know what's going on with the crown there. Like, she managed to use her telekinesis to raise it up, and then it gets shot with an arrow. Like, what? Do you guys know what that's about?
I mean, I think that's Nayeon's powers, no? I didn't realize there was a question about that.
I see, you would know, Dewey, but
Yeah,
That's your bestie. You gotta talk to her, man.
I feel
Why
like
don't you ask
yeah,
her?
yeah.
I have a theory that it might be a reference to Mean Girls, just because in that movie they like split the crown. Everyone gets a crown. Everyone's a queen.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what
Right.
it is.
And the book looks like the Burn book too.
Yes.
Let's be real here. So there's that. But I think They were trying to decipher this in a reaction video that they have, but it seems like everyone's a prom queen at the end of the day, which, you know, OT9, I guess. So there's that.
As well as the male backup dancers. They're prom queens as well.
Sure.
Everybody.
Sure.
Everybody.
Okay.
All right. We'll keep going.
Lightning straight to my heart, oh yeah. I got all the feels for sure, yeah. I got all the feels for ya. Boy, I know. I know I get the feels. Boy, I know. I know you feel it too. Boy, I know. I know I get the feels.
I love the supporting vocals on this third chorus.
Know you feel it too.
It's an interesting ending pose too, but that poster is what everyone went
for the
crazy
tour.
for.
That poster. Oh.
So for people listening,
Okay,
we're
did you
talking
guys catch
about.
that the first time?
No.
Did you guys catch that the
I
first
saw other people
Yes,
catching it, but
I
what we're
caught it.
referring to on the poster, it says 2021 October 6th anniversary week, so week of the video. 2021 November 3rd full album, and on the third line it says, "And fourth tour is coming. More to come. Stay tuned." And Twice they reacted to that in their reaction of the music video as if it was a surprise to them.
Yeah. I feel like, I think it was a surprise gift to them because, like, obviously pandemic hit. But it was kind of interesting to see how they really reacted to it in real time. It was like, we're doing a tour? Really? We're doing a tour? Like, like, it was like first Cheon caught it and then Mom was like, you read tour? And then everyone's like, wait, what? And
Right.
So I don't know. I knew about the third album, but I didn't know about the tour. But it was bound to happen. But to have it at the ending was like such a perfect finish. I think so.
Yeah, when I watched that, and Du was the one who flagged it to me, but like when I watched that, it almost made me think, like, did they plant that just so that they can really reinforce and underscore, like, yeah, this is coming? Did that make them all talk about it on the reaction video? I don't know. Maybe not, but
I think so. There's a couple of reaction videos that I've watched on this music video, and everyone like did a double take and freaked out on the last scene because it's like, yo, you know, everyone wants to see their favorite K-pop groups, right? Like to have that just be like, blah, we're coming to tour. It doesn't even, it doesn't even tell you what date. But I think that feeling of something to look forward to is what people are yearning right now. And for them, for Twice to give that, the leading girl group in K-pop to do that, I mean, that says a lot. And I'm pretty sure many fans around the world are going to be definitely looking forward to that. So
it sort of breaks the fourth wall a bit, right? Because we're so used to watching K-pop music videos, like, you know, this beautiful, glamorous spectacle or universe, whatever it is that they're giving us. But this is something that's implying that's going to happen in real life.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting.
And they've given us so much this year. I just did not see that coming. Another album. Like, they've already given us the Korean album and then a Japanese album. And then another album this year and a tour? It's just overwhelming. Yeah. In the best way.
I totally agree. I think the other question too. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're already talking.
Oh,
go.
Just gonna, I think something on our agenda probably to talk about too is like, where is this all leading, right?
Right.
Because the coming album, the tour, and then we hit that 7-year mark, right? Where does that lead us? So
maybe we should play the end of this video. Is there anything left on this? I can't remember.
Oh, that's it.
I think that was literally the end.
Just the credits with the dancing.
Oh, the dancing in their prom outfits, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah. Although they were all color coordinated too for prom. Usually, did you guys ever coordinate with your gals for prom?
I went to prom by myself, and I actually didn't want to go.
I went to an all-boys high school. Let's not relive that.
You didn't wear all matching dresses, Joey?
No, we didn't.
Wow. Missed opportunity. Oh, well. Well, okay. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, they had fun. So let's take it to our usual format. So, Lai, would you like to maybe kick off? Like, okay,
Yeah.
the year is 2021, and we're recording this on
October 6th.
October 6th.
Yeah. So let's put it on the table. It is Twice-tober officially. The song came out on the 1st of October, and everyone's around the world knows that October is Twice-tober, the month where Twice celebrates their anniversary. They debuted in October 20th, and this year they will be celebrating their 6th anniversary since their debut in 2015. And ever since this release, this is kind of like a really good benchmark. You're celebrating your anniversary month with a US single for the Western market. In the past, we have gone, just maybe Korean EPs, or last year we had I Can't Stop Me, Eyes Wide Open, which is their second full album. And then now this year, for November, we're getting a third full album, which I personally was not expecting it to be a full album. I was actually expecting it to be an EP. So it's interesting to see how this 6th anniversary is going to circle around probably a bigger push for the Western market ever since they signed under Republic Records earlier last year. So, and yeah, I guess that's what I have to say in terms of the month of October, circling around the month of Twice. And what is important about the song The Feels is how it's authentically Twice. The only difference is they're singing in English and it's being marketed in the Western market. The people behind it are the same producers that have produced Feel Special, Knock Knock, and What Is Love. So what I love about it, I'm pretty sure, everyone around here who's listening and even just here on the panel, is that, like I said, The Feels is very bubbly and very pop to what the brand of Twice is. You're talking about love. You're talking about, trying to figure out what that love is and how to express it. And Twice has been an expert in it. And you see that all with The Feels. And yeah, that's what I got to say.
If you're new to the podcast, a couple years ago, we did a How You Ween Spooktacular special episode. And we said that Twice's TT was the most iconic K-pop Halloween song of all time. So just going along with that Twice-tober theme.
That was fantastic what Lai said there. I totally agree that this is Twice, English version of Twice. Like, literally somebody just, you took Twice K-pop and you put it into like Google Translate and it literally just spit out whatever that English version is. And that's what you got. Like, this is it, right?
Yeah, it wasn't even like a strict translation, right? Because you know how Google Translation could mess up things a bit. But this one is literally a smooth transition to the brand of what Twice is. And I even said it in my Glamour piece that the song's catchy dance pop hooks stay true to the group's signature sound, and the only difference is that they're going global. And what I loved about this is when I was talking to Twice, Nayeon spoke up first, and she said, when we decided to release this track as our first English single in the US, a lot of people thought about what kind of concept we will go with, but we thought that it would be most befitting to be ourselves and basically just show Twice as is in the song. And I thought that just summed up perfectly on how this was marketed. So great job, Nayeon. That was a great quote.
Awesome, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, I love that they were not compromising in their identity for this like Western effort. Jury's out right now to see how much of a commercial success that will be, but my guess is that it'll work because there's already enough of a domestic fan base for this sort of thing, and we'll see. I think there's a lot of people who are still learning about K-pop for the first time, and so much of that has been dominated by BTS, Monsta X, Blackpink, and now we're seeing a different flavor of quote unquote K-pop with Twice being themselves in this.
Yeah. And whenever I see like a group like Twice that kind of is like the classic vibe of K-pop, that's that it's not I guess the way you said it in the last episode, Peter, is like kind of Disney-fied. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like too Disney-fied. It's just that the way that they're marketing Twice is that they're showing a different side of K-pop, because you have all these variations, right? You have BTS and Blackpink, who's more of like this strong, charismatic kind of character. Oh, especially with Monsta X too, like who's very masculine and kind of like dark. And then you have Twice here, who's kind of more of the refreshing, lighthearted kind of music that K-pop serves you. So it's really exciting to have them be marketed and being pushed to the Western market when we're all in this pandemic and everyone has so much time on their hands to be discovering new music.
You know, I forgot where I first heard this, but I know it came from Tamar Herman. So I just want to give her credit on this. But in some course of conversation, she said that there is no more like quote unquote mainstream. Like just everything is a niche now. And like it's just like a democratized even playing field. So you know, when we talk about Western penetration, it's not like, you know, Westerners necessarily have to follow a certain, you know, sound or style. Like it could be anything. I think everyone is discovering everything, all the music on their Spotify recommendations and whatnot. Okay, shall we talk about the concept of this music video? What we thought, you know, the looks that they were giving us, the story, the message. What did you guys think?
I like that it was simple. They had 3 outfits. They had the kind of, are we talking about outfits in this section too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They had like the kind of grungy school look and the prom dresses and then that cheerleader, you know, vibe. And I like that it was simple like that, but each outfit was still like super detailed and special and fun in its own way. And yeah, we also talked about how there might be like some references to Mean Girls in here, which could also be something that they use to appeal to the Western audience, because Mean Girls is huge here.
The other day was October 3rd, guys. Just so you know.
Perfect. Just in time.
Wait. Explain that reference for people who don't know. Which are definitely not me, but for those people I'm asking.
All right. So for those who haven't watched Mean Girls, Katie, Lindsay Lohan, asks, I think his name is Aaron. I don't know. Asks Aaron in class, you know, what's the date today? And he goes, October 3rd. So October 3rd was the day where she talked to Aaron. So there's that. It's a very special day.
On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
Yes, exactly. He asked me what. It was the other way around. I'm sorry. Yes, he asked me what day it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's from a concept standpoint, it's more straightforward, maybe than what they've been trending towards lately, right? But it's still very pure Twice. Again, I think the recurring theme is this is Twice, right? I don't think it's anything that's outside of their wheelhouse, or they're experimenting just to cater to the American audience here.
So true.
Explain that more, Dewey. Like, what do you mean by like not trying anything complicated or experimental? Like, in what way is this more Twice than maybe say the last couple of releases?
Well, I mean, I still think, you know, because we had this question, right, from the last few comebacks that we did the podcast on, and there was like, oh, you know, which direction are they trending in? And it was kind of this, oh, maybe they're getting a little more serious, more mature concepts, and then they did Alcohol Free on us, which we were, it was kind of like just a whirlwind of emotions and kind of not sure where it was going, but it was very interesting. And then now they give us this, which probably is something, you know, at least from a, you know, I was looking at the dance perspective, right? But just even conceptually, somewhere between a yes or yes, and at least from a dance perspective, maybe like a Feel Special somewhere there, right? But yeah, so I mean, they're pulling back to where they were more originally, right? Maybe not a I Can't Stop Me, but I think it's still quintessentially Twice, which is the most important thing. And so from the dance perspective, I'll say, I know that was my piece, you know, it's still Twice. It's and this is the gamble that you were alluding to, right, Peter? You know, JYP says, we're going to make this Twice, like Lai said, but with just English lyrics, right? I'm not going to, you know, mention specific other groups, but, you maybe I will. I mean, Blackpink, for example, right? They came out with their English song, and it sounded not quite Blackpink, right?
It was
and
different,
they were
yeah.
it was different. They were appealing more to an American audience. BTS, don't get me wrong. Don't kill me, guys, right? I love BTS. Try to buy concert tickets today. Unsuccessful. Still working on it, right? But, I mean, their stuff is lighter when it comes to kind of the Western audience, right?
You're referring to Butter, Dynamite, that sort of thing?
Yeah. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but it's different, right? Compared to like, I loved On, right? Like, I mean, that's the stuff I love. But with Twice, this feels like Twice. They're not at Costco giving you a sampler and saying, hey, if you really like this, why don't you try it? Why don't you want to buy the product, right? They've served you a meal. They put it on the table. The only question is if you're going to sit down and eat it or not. Right?
That was nice.
That was really well said. Yeah, I totally agree.
I was like, damn, how do I follow up? Yeah. Yeah, me and me are just like, damn, okay, Dewey.
We'll just fade out in the background here.
That's all I have, actually. But, that's it's a gamble, like you said, I think, Peter. Right? JYP clearly did that purposefully, but we'll see how it actually plays out.
I think when the Wonder Girls, however many years ago that was, I mean, it was just a different world back then. The way people discovered, consumed music was just profoundly different. But it seemed like at that time, I don't know, they did Nobody to death. But it felt like even when they were doing that delivery of Nobody, it felt like it was still somewhat of a evolution or a deviation from like the original Korean spirit or zeitgeist of the song. It just seems like, I think as we're all saying, Twice is being uncompromising and giving us the distilled essence of Twice in this music video. I'm just missing the zombies from Ooh Ah. I think that was just a hint of goofiness, like from Ooh Ah or Knock Knock. There's just a little bit of goofiness that I'm missing, but maybe they're too old for that now.
No, like even with What Is Love, right? Like you have all those parodies there, and they mention it in when I talked to them, is that they had so much fun doing that music video the most, even though it feels special, maybe the most grandiose one out of all of them, but their favorite song as well. There's so much memories that they have with What Is Love, and I think that's what everyone likes about Twice, that quirkiness. So to have it here and be it translated for them to like go to prom, or like probably dress up and like mess around in the background. I mean, that gives you a small smidge of what Twice is about. I guess, like you said earlier about the Wonder Girls, it was definitely about the accessibility aspect. The way people discovered music is totally different to how it was now. We have a younger generation here with Gen Z who's like totally up for anything that they're consuming on TikTok or even on social media and on the internet. So it's a different ballpark for third and fourth generation K-pop acts compared to the second gen. Because when I hear about Nobody, I think about how, it was like kind of beating a dead horse, right? Because it was like everywhere and it felt forced too.
Oh yeah.
And it was it was like it seamlessly just fit in because of how well the reception is with K-pop is now.
Can I ask you guys a question, not to throw it off the path too much?
Yeah.
Some songs you listen to and I don't know, like Likey, for example, I think took me a few listens. It was a little different, right, at the time. And I was like, I obviously love this song. Like, this is a song where I think, not universally, but majority of people listening, you're like, wow, that's a bop, right? Like, you guys have that same feeling? And what's the listening power been for you guys? The repeat value been for you guys?
I felt right away that it was a bop. Right after listening to it the first time, I was like, wow, that's a bop. But I have to listen to it again because I had to get, the lyrics and everything. And it was such a bop. I had to listen to it multiple times that night.
So I was given the song 12 hours before I was talking to them. So I didn't get to have the song marinate with me as much. Or was it like more or less 12 hours? And I just remember being like, can I curse on here?
Yeah, go for it.
I was like, holy shit, what the f sound I was rapping? That was literally my first instinct. And then, but she also got like one of the parts where it's like, would I hit bullseye? Which is like, that kind of stood out a bit too. We were not given, obviously I was not given the music video. I was given the song.
Yeah.
And I was just completely impressed on how pronunciation was. So I kind of dove back into that in the piece, and they were just saying that how they wanted to nail that so hard, so badly when it comes to this release, because they wanted to impress the audience, but also just pay respects to just the language and how it's going to be promoted. But yeah, that was my. I thought it was a hit. It wasn't, like I said, it didn't feel forced, like they were changing their image or changing their sound. It was like, this is Twice. It's just being served in a different language, and it feels authentic to me. So.
I think that's certainly playing to their favor. Like what K-pop fandom likes to talk about misheard lyrics all the time, even when they're singing in English.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's any room for misheard lyrics in this.
And can we talk about that? Like,
yeah.
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. They're not the best English speakers, right? But the song and the pronunciation,
they nailed it.
I mean,
they nailed it.
What's
yeah.
the French word for that? Like something really amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
I will say though,
C'est parfait.
There you go. There you go.
C'est parfait. Oh la la.
Exactly.
I will say though, when I did hear the track, I think it was Jiho's part in the chorus, and she says like, right here straight in my heart, oh yeah, and I was like, I thought she said lightning struck to my heart, and I'm like, yo, that's pretty violent, bro. But later on,
Isn't that what she said?
That was not it.
She says lightning straight to my heart. No.
That's what I thought. Still,
it was like, right, isn't it right straight to my heart? It's not lightning straight to my heart, because I thought it was lightning.
I did a cover of it, and I said lightning. I sang lightning straight to my heart.
Lightning, because the part where they're like this, right? They're continuing the lightning theme,
Yeah,
or the electricity
lightning.
theme, right?
Well,
Right? Is it?
I'm looking up
Am I
lyrics
stupid?
right now.
No, I think
I
it
could be
is.
stupid.
According to
Right.
let's see.
Wait, before you answer though, Peter, this is if Lai is wrong, that means their pronunciation is ooh la la.
Well, according to Genius, they say lightning straight to my heart.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
comma, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's still
There it
ooh
is?
la la.
It's still ooh la la. I'm just
It's
dumb.
so good. It's so good that Lai heard it correctly and thought he heard it wrong. There it is.
Yeah, I thought it was wrong. Okay. All right. I thought it was stupid. I'm not stupid.
No. Lai's just, exploring new avenues, new ways, new dimensions for us to.
Yeah,
learn
I
from,
mean, I've been
discover,
stuck in
and
Gwangya the last like 3 days, so this is a good refresher to be back on Earth. So
But yeah, I don't know if we were moving on from the concept thing. I just wanted to say I also agree that this is just, they're showing who Twice is. They're not trying to cater, to the Western audience. The only thing I thought was something that I think they did intentionally. So now I'm taking back what I said. The only thing that I thought they did intentionally to appeal to the Western audience was the prom theme, because prom is such a big thing in America.
yeah.
Yeah.
And let's take it back a bit too. The theme of prom, and then you follow this with from alcohol free, which kind of touches base on like the mature aspect of Twice, where they are listing all these alcoholic beverages, and then you come to prom, which happens in high school most of the time. There could be underage drinking and after parties. So this is a pretty interesting twist in the line and the story of Twice. So
Okay. Well, there was some dancing in this music video, as there is always in a Twice K-pop music video. But what did you think of the dance moves, Dewey?
From a technical aspect, I think it's fun. It's a lot of different formations effectively used. They emphasize, as usual, the catchy moves at just the right points. And you can stop me if you've heard this before, because it's practically the same thing they do for their K-pop songs. The recurring theme, right, is just, this is similar to what they've been doing in the past. which is a good thing. It's not to say it's like redundant, right? But it's dance and choreography heavy as opposed to maybe other English release songs from other K-pop groups. And it's probably somewhere between a Yes or Yes and Feel Special, I think, like I had said before. My favorite parts, a few parts stuck out to me when they were kind of in the changing room, or they were kind of trying out their outfits, and they're like in a diagonal line, and then they did like a hop, turn, hop kind of a thing. And it was kind of cute to see little animations of like kind of clouds or smoke by their feet. I really like that. And then the electric buzz with the hands I really liked. And my favorite part was actually the second chorus that they changed up. And this is typical, right? They always change up the chorus choreo a little bit, where when they do the little booty shake, Nayeon has her hands and she kind of does like a little flap like this. But it's very choreo heavy, similar to their prior comebacks. As a matter of fact, if you notice the last chorus, what did they do? They went in, they did the same dance but went in a circle, right? That's a recurring theme that they always do for a lot of their songs.
Yeah, taking advantage of their numbers, right? Like, not all
Exactly.
other groups can do that. Well, the number one thing I was thinking about while watching with this was, oh, thank God it's not so technically like insanely difficult. They can breathe if they have to do a few songs back to back while they have a live performance. It's not a like more and more, or I don't know, just the last few songs that we've reviewed from them. It was always just like, oh, it's getting harder and harder for them. Is it never going to let up? So, yeah.
It's funny you bring that up because they released their Vanity Fair video today, and Nine was please don't put more and more and Feel Special back to back. That is the only thing that they were asking for a live concert. So yeah, I'm hoping for that too, because I would have been like dead on the floor if I were to dance that.
So we'll be anticipating like old song, new song, old song, new song. Right?
Or even I Can't Stop Me. If you have those three songs back to back, it's dude, like you can't.
Yeah.
What struck me is that, and maybe I'm a little behind or out of the know about what's going on with Jeongyeon, but she wasn't in any of the dancing scenes. And I know that, she's been taking a break, but I was just surprised that she was in the video, but she just wasn't in any of the dance scenes or in the final pose. So, could we talk about that a little bit? Maybe I missed out on why she's not there.
I think it was even from last year when she was already on a break as well, when they were just taking care of her health. I know that it was before, it was like it was a neck injury, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was her neck injury. So I think they're just probably expanding that. But also it was revealed that, she has anxiety as well. So at this point, I think it was a great move to have her kind of sit out on the choreography just for the sake of her health, but still be a part of it, or in whatever expansion, drastic dance moves or moves or like. So I think it was just that, because even with their virtual concert last year, she was just sitting on the side, like she didn't have to do any extraneous work. But she did participate in like the live performances. I think with this time, they still wanted to have that OT9 aspect no matter what, because this is obviously a big move for them. And just having her there and be like her prankster self in the background as well, just it kind of stays authentic to the brand of Twice. But in terms of her, I think it's just because they're trying to make sure that she is okay until she's comfortable with performing. So
yeah, I'm glad that they're doing that, giving her a break.
Yeah. Ditto.
Yeah. And I think as maybe as us watching, it's pretty obvious. So she's not in part of the group, but probably to people getting introduced to Twice, right? They probably may not notice that there's 8 instead of 9, unless they're counting. But I think they did a pretty decent job, like kind of just weaving her in and out of the scenes, right?
Yeah.
To have her included, given the situation, all things considered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there was also a mention, I think, somewhere about like what during the dance part, the credit scenes where they're dancing around.
Yeah.
They said like she was really going at it, and everybody was just like hooting and hollering and having a great time, and they really want to release that. The members wanted to really release that at some point, so that onces could see. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Again, the benefits of having a group. Want to continue to encourage and foster this balance of not giving yourself to this exploitive, extractive, capitalistic machine, taking measured moments for break and health. And I think we want to commercially support companies that do that. So I just want to call that out. So this is a good move. Okay. So Mia, kick us off. Talk about the music of this song. What do you think about the audio?
Of course. Well, we can't talk about the music without mentioning that awesome bass intro. So iconic. And that bass is really prevalent throughout the whole song, actually. If you really pay attention, it's there. And I think that adds like a really cool flavor that takes us into a disco vibe. So I think that the song has a disco vibe overall, which makes it very dancey, as all Twice songs are, but this one just has a special disco flair to it, and I cannot stop grooving whenever I hear it. I also wanted to mention, I think that the line distribution was really interesting. I think that each person got a part that really suited their personality and their voice.
Yeah.
So, even though it wasn't totally fair, the line distribution, I think every part suited each member perfectly.
Yeah. They took Momo's range very nicely. Like they gave her like lines where it suited her vocal range. And I was very appreciative of that because it didn't feel forced on her.
Going along with the disco vibe, I noticed that in the choreography as well. They just did a lot of like disco cliche.
It's funny, it's right behind you.
Yes, yeah. Right. Honestly, between this and BTS's Dynamite, I would have preferred this disco flavor a little bit more. Sorry, I'll try not to say that too loudly. but no, this was a more fun disco flavor. And of course, it's not, technically like disco. Like it's not like back in the day disco, but the vibe and the feeling and the zeitgeist and the fun. Also, the lower, for some reason, it feels like it had lower, bassier tones, whereas Dynamite did not. So, I need that funk, that groove, that bass, and even if the bass isn't that complicated in its bass line, I still need that presence for it to be like a disco feeling song.
Oh, definitely.
All right. So taking everything said into account and all the comments and the compliments that we've had with this song, is Twice as the Feels Daebak or not?
What are these scores out of again? Is it a 5? Is it a
Is
5?
Daebak or not?
Or not?
Well, then why are we so confused?
It's either Daebak or it's not.
Actually, you know what, Dewey, what you're probably picking up on? Like
It was
the
a 5
bones.
at some point.
Yeah, because the bones of this outline, like go back way back when, where we were a bit more meticulous, and we would say like, on the choreo, like, oh, I'm gonna give it a 3 on the choreo, or like a 5 on the concept, or like a 2 on the audio, whatever. So that's back then.
What's what? It's just scores. I mean, this is just binary, right? Daebak or not?
So we need to change up the script. Thank you, Dewey.
All right, Peter, edit that part out. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think we need to keep that in. I think our listeners need to know. Because they're probably asking the same question as you do. They're like, what the hell are they talking about on the Kpopcast? Okay. All right. So, kick us off. What was the song, Daebak or not?
Was this song Daebak or not? It's obviously a day to the bak for me. For obvious reasons, it is still Twice, just in a different language. And yeah, we love Twice.
Okay. And Dewey?
I think, personally, I went into this song with lower expectations, and I think I just set that for myself because I honestly just didn't know what to expect for an English comeback like this coming from Twice. And then the whole setup of how there was like a teaser, and then maybe it got delayed or something, and then there's nothing for a month, and then you heard nothing, and all you heard were a few riffs and an intro. Like, honestly, I was just like, I don't know, because a lot of the other previews that they've given us in the past gave us like the actual chorus and stuff like that. But I appreciate that they didn't do it this time, because when I listened to it, it was just like boom, just in my face, right? All of this, and it was fantastic. So for me, it was definitely day to the buck, no question.
I like how we have like Daebak and Day to the Bach. Like that was like the next level of like awesomeness and goodness. Okay. Well, anyway, Mia, your score.
In that case, it is Day to the Bach for me too. Anything by Twice is Daebak, honestly. They've been working so hard for us this year, and I mean, they always have been, but especially this year with the pandemic and everything, they've just been making us so happy, and yeah, this song just fills me with joy.
All right, well, I'll be the upset to this crew and just say the song was simply Daebak, so.
Almost picked up my chair there.
Well, we were originally talking about whether or not we want to do an episode on this. I said it just eked a Daebak for me, so it was good. It was good enough. Sorry,
Daebak's all
I've
around.
been saying that a lot this episode.
So yeah, that's all that matters.
It's got my wife singing the song, so
Aw.
it's at that point, you know, where if she's singing it and I'm hearing it all the time, it's gonna be Daebak. So. Oh, and then I also shared a video with you guys. Me, I don't think you saw it, but my daughter, she dances to this song. So my 10-month-old baby girl, she does a little bounce every single time.
It's very wholesome, very cute.
I love
Please
that.
forward it to Mia.
Yeah, I would love to
Yeah.
see that. Oh, a little baby once in the making.
Yep. There you go. Okay, well, let's take it to some open questions. So obviously, this is a English Western effort. I think specifically US, but maybe North American, but I think really more deliberately the number one music market, the American music market. How successful do you think this will be? Like, do we want to take guesses, like in terms of its commercial success, or what do you think the reception has been, what it will be? What do you think of the US effort so far?
So I hate to compare it, but I'm hoping the popularity of this song reaches the same way how Luna's Star worked for radio, because the song has been requested for on various top 40 radio stations. So Wild 94.9, I believe, had a request, and even 102.7.
Hyphy Bay Area.
Yeah. So like, you know, if they get those requests in, or even with most requested live, like that kind of exposure means a lot. So I hope there's some type of radio exposure to them, or them talking to different radio stations, because this song does have that sound, and it does suit radio. When I think it was earlier, last month or a week before into August. I think either someone kind of leaked leaked the description of the song and compared it to Dua Lipa's Levitate. And I thought, like, if it's a similar kind of feel to Dua Lipa's Levitate, then obviously there's going to be a radio kind of aspect, or like there's going to be some type of push for it. So I hope that it gets as much exposure as they can. The way that obviously they're under JYP, so they have that money to market themselves any way they can. So I hope, hopefully it's a success. Hopefully they could do like a US promo tour or some sort, because that would definitely help them, obviously. I'm hoping that news just breaks out of nowhere in the next couple of weeks and everyone just goes crazy, you know, like how the BTS ticket stuff. Like if they did that with Twice, like they could have that effect too.
Yeah, get all the people who couldn't get BTS tickets. Be like, hey, that's your chance. Jump on this other concert opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I used to do a lot of like radio volunteer gigs and work, and even volunteered at Clear Channel a little bit as a DJ. And you mentioned the guide on, like, it sounds like Dua Lipa. Like oftentimes, usually for like music directors, or even what labels will send into music directors at these radio stations, they'll give them guides like, oh, it sounds like these songs, so they can figure out like how they want to do their music programming. You know, how often they want it to be like a A-list repeat, a B-list repeat, like once every hour, maybe once a day, sort of, you know, play counts. So that's great that they're adopting a lot of that terminology and taking that approach. I hate to say it, but like to win in U.S. music, I don't know what you're seeing professionally, from everything that you're doing live, but like it seems like U.S. radio is the number one way still. Broadcast radio, this antiquated medium, is still the number one influence what charts, what does well commercially, what becomes more viral and part of the U.S. culture is just like if it's on the radio, the FM airwaves. And the best way to influence that, you talked about Luna. Luna did a great job in mobilizing the fan base and getting all those, call-in request efforts. That has a huge influence on whether or not, DJs play a song per hour. And like they're usually afforded like, a couple of songs that they can do, by request. Yeah. So don't tweet at the radio station, call in. I know you Gen Z kids are really afraid, even millennials are sometimes afraid of talking to someone on the phone and using your voice, but like do it. That's the number one way that you can influence the DJ who's on the air during that hour to, hey, like I'd like to request the song. They'll be like, great. And they'll work in if they can. But that's the number one way. So keep requesting it. Make sure you mobilize your fan base in your neighborhood, your area to request the song. And then the other thing is it's so unglamorous. Like, honestly, like from like a publicity PR point of view, but like they got to go on like a radio tour, like tour the nation, go to the major market radio stations. Yeah. And like at times what I'll honestly and candidly say feels like demeaning interviews because a lot of these music directors and DJs, they just, don't do the research.
They don't. They don't. They have someone else do it. I was one of those people who had to do it for a radio DJ. And it was, I'm given, it was a great opportunity to work on radio. But some of these radio tours could feel demeaning and loses the essence of the artistry and what their brand is. Because they do offbeat, off tangent questions. So, but you're right. You're right, Peter. The way to go about it is definitely calling the radio stations. Because once you get through a phone screener, you get to tell them whatever you want because they know that that's a listener who's like on demand and knows what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. Mobilize with your local, onces in your neighborhood.
Wow. It's so eye-opening.
Yeah. It's sad because like I remember just like watching some of my favorite idols go on these like, radio junket tours, and it's just like I don't know, sometimes like these radio stations, they have all their artists do like the same stupid like demeaning skit. I mean, they're not intentionally looking to be demeaning, but it's like, oh, let's all do this like stupid, I don't know, DDR game or something. It's like fine, sure, whatever, but like it goes, it has an influence, and just making sure that song's played more in that major market radio station. So yeah, and I think a good publicist know to like really push the issue and like really kind of strong arm the whoever the producer is for the show, and making sure that the terms are set right, that it's not like you're not going to call it this thing, or you're not going to compare it to like something that's totally irrelevant, or you're not going to make this overgeneralization of this music. So yeah. Anyway, I think hopefully stations and stuff have something to learn from BTS, because I think a lot of people had their like minds changed and shook, and frankly, I think some people face blowback just because they did things wrong with BTS. So sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there. I don't know if you guys had other thoughts on US market penetration from this song.
No, I just honestly have no idea. Guess I'll wait and see. I'm a watcher and seer, I suppose.
I will say it's pretty it's pretty great to see them make these virtual performances for these late night talk shows, though. Because those viewerships do matter.
Yep.
And they said that Jimmy Fallon's episode last Friday was actually like the highest they've had in a while, I think. I could be wrong, but it was pretty high. So that kind of shows you the mobilization. Sure, it's not on radio, but if you get it on TV, national television, that works too. And seeing those views reflected on YouTube, because they're obviously going to be on their channels as well, that helps too. There's different avenues different ways to go about it, not just radio, because I think radio is dying at the same time, even though it's still there. everyone's just streaming now. Everyone's streaming on YouTube. So
yeah, I'm curious for your perspective on this as well, Lai. But like, on the PR end, time is precious. Right, especially with this group, like they're at 6 years left, and K-pop production cycles are intense, especially as we've seen from Twice just this past year. Like every day counts because they need to move on to the next thing, or they need to start training or doing the next major thing.
Man.
So like a radio tour is like that would be very time intensive.
Yeah,
and like not. They wouldn't be getting as much, return on investment for their time in, these major national broadcasts. It's like, okay, they can, sure, it takes a little bit more for one given hit to do all the prep and special, as you saw, like, they had special outfits and special stage and everything for their cable broadcast hits. But, the clock is ticking. They have to pick and choose what they're going to do.
It's tricky. And, but I think everyone can agree with this. Just blame it on the pandemic, literally. Because there was all of these plans, I think I could confidently say probably were supposed to be from last year. Because last year, around this time last year, they were supposed to have a global tour. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So that's why it's like pretty disheartening. Not even just for Twice, but even like for other artists too. Like Luna was supposed to go to a world tour over the summer last year. And like these, obviously, Star was a hit in the fall. So to see how the pandemic kind of just like cut everyone's careers by like a year and a half or 2 years, and try to just figure out what to do with it with this, time left before, the 7th year curse or something. It's kind of interesting to see, but at the same time, it's kind of heartwarming to see how many people are very receptive with this content.
Yeah. By the way, they've got a sister group called ITZY, who are also like making, major Western airplay and PR hits at the same time. Like I honestly, I'd hate to be on JYP's publicity team right now, because it's like you're cannibalizing your own efforts. Like having these things going like
simultaneously
just a week within each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this publication, we'll take it from this artist. We've already kind of exhausted that topic. And then it's like, you want us to hit that same topic again, like a few days later? It's like,
You know what's funny?
The JYP group. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, should I go?
Yeah, go ahead, like.
Yeah, go.
No, the funny part is that so my interview with Twice and ITZY was done in 24 hours time. So I had Twice around this time on September, like first week of September. 24 hours later, I had to record my interview with ITZY. And it was like back to back 2 nights straight. Did I have a chance to absorb everything that I talked about? Not really. It didn't sink in until I was like writing. I was like, holy that happened in 24 hours. Did not have time to breathe. Did not have time to actually think about everything. It was just like, let's go. They wanted and if there were any changes that need to be made in terms of like how I'm wording things to make sure that I was like head on with the timing. But yeah, like you said, it's pretty crazy in how PR is working around the clock with all these acts making their debuts and comebacks, especially for JYP, who's like killing it with, you had Stray Kids, and then you had ITZY, and then now you have Twice, and then obviously next year we're gonna get a new girl group. So, it's pretty interesting.
But
so
Lai,
that was along my line. The
Go
questions,
ahead.
so for Lai actually, which was, I had heard that each of the groups had like their own dedicated team.
Yes.
Right? So does that account for the PR too? There are different PR groups per team, or is that under like one PR, like under one umbrella? I assume they're different teams, so then they're like cannibalizing each other essentially. Right?
I don't know if I'm supposed to disclose this, but
Was it an agency or something?
I'm not sure, but I think it's already in public. I'm not sure yet.
My guess, well, one, like, good job, just as a fellow PR pro, just looking at their hits, like the fact that they were able to get two cannibalizing launches right next to each other that are somewhat, I mean, obviously, like JYP tried to carve out a niche and a theme for each of, Twice versus ITZY. but still, you know, in the macro sense of things, they're still somewhat proximate, you know, in theme. The fact that they were able to get all those hits across all the different, you know, publications and broadcasters that they did, like, really good job.
Yeah. During
But
the
at the
pandemic
same
too is
time-
like impressive.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't just say, hey, Lai, so you're doing Twice at 6 and then Itzy at 7, right?
Dude, I would have been like probably like lost it because in between it was like I had to do K contact high five, and then I was just like, I was like, God. So it was pretty interesting because I had obviously the Itzy episode was like last week, but I had Twice, and then I had to do like a short meeting with, you know, so like a short like chat with like what to talk about for K Contact High Five, and then K Contact High Five literally happened 2 hours before my interview with Itzy. So it was just like, no, I can't drop out of Twitter Spaces real quick, put a get up on, slap some CC cream on, and turn on the light and a setup. So I was like, oh, okay, well, this is my life. That's why I was like off the grid for September, because I was prepping for all this stuff.
Can I ask what CC cream is? What's CC cream?
It's like BB cream. Actually, I don't know what it is, man.
That's what I was just like, oh, it's like
I
is
think
that
Mia
like
knows.
Daebak and Dick to the box?
I
So it's like
actually
BB
don't
cream
know.
and CC cream?
CC cream is like BB cream, but with SPF.
Oh.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it's probably
it-
DD cream then at some point, right?
Yeah, probably. It's great though.
Got it.
It's great. I recommend it. Cosmetics,
I'm gonna
not
look it up.
sponsored, but yeah.
Yeah, I should look into that. I don't know much about it.
You think
I
that they
recommend
would, they're probably saying like, what the hell? They're probably saying like, you know, we could have gotten all of this for one artist and then just do it again, like maybe a month later. But
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
okay, you're
And stretch it out for like 5 months, right? Instead
or
of-
whatever, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, you know, constraints being what they are, I think they did best in making do.
True.
Oh, shoot, what was the other thing I was going to say around this? Oh, so yeah, one thing that I sometimes do, like maybe you'll see me like, you know, I do PR for AI. So I often talk with my other PR AI counterparts like, oh, Facebook AI or Accenture AI or you know, Microsoft AI, IBM, like, hey, are you guys going to have a major announcement like next month? Like, let's not all go to the same report at the same time. Like, okay, I've got some flexibility here. I'll go up a week or go back a week. That way we're not like all blasting the same contact at the same time. Like, anyway, one thing I would just recommend to you K-pop PR pros who might be listening. So anyway, okay, so maybe we've gone off on a tangent on that. I'm sorry for consuming the space on that. Maybe a little too much inside baseball. 6-year anniversary. Well, I know you wanted to talk about this aspect of their career.
As we all know, Twice-tober is the month every once around the world anticipates, because usually there's always going to be some type of event, some type of thing that's going to be happening around the month of October 20th or some sort. Pre-pandemic wise, they always had once Halloween, which everyone just dresses up as their desired characters. Dahyun as Genie will forever be iconic, as well as her Annabelle costume the week before. We have this anniversary. It's their 6th anniversary. Next year is going to be their 7th anniversary. As an unknowing aspect of every K-pop idol's career, they say the 7th year mark could probably mean the end or probably not. We're going to see how that plays out. But considering it is the pandemic and we're having this new wave of reception and how we consume things, I feel like, to be honest, Twice's popularity is still going to probably extend past the 7th year because of all these moves towards the West, and how their labels are kind of, I mean, I think we could all say they're doing a pretty good job. We're pretty impressed by how everything has been pushed out so far. But yeah, the 6th anniversary, it's always refreshing to see how the group always takes a look back at everything they've done, but also not only amongst themselves, but they always include the fans with them. So I'm kind of predicting, I'm kind of hoping and anticipating what's to come for this year, because they've already released pre-orders for merchandise. And they're pretty practical merchandise. And I will say, I praise Twice for making probably the best merchandise they've in K-pop.
It's a toothbrush sterilizer.
Yeah, that's very useful.
So I mean, this is kind of my basic understanding, which is the concern is usually by the 7th year, like there's a decreased interest, or maybe there's just not as much popularity, right? But I mean, I guess the way you're answering it, Lai, I'm wondering, is there already an assumption that they will be signing and extending their contracts? I think which is a separate question altogether, right?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that. This is what I hope happens in case to the point where they are presented if they want to renew their contracts or not. Given the fact that we have the pandemic, they extend it to their satisfaction. So when they're done doing a global tour, when they hit that mark, and you know, they do their subunit or solo projects, that's when it ends. That's what I'm hoping to happen. So I think they may extend with certain conditions. That's what I think. But at the same time, you do get that feeling that Twice is not Twice without all of them being together, right? It's hard to picture them because that's how they always promoted themselves. There was never a solo project. There was never a subunit, right?
Yep.
There was always OT9, right? So I think it's going to be kind of weird to see that. Even Jihyo said it, right? She said it in an interview before that it was going to be always OT9, even though some of the other members kind of wanted to do some subunits here and there.
I won't allow these solo projects. Basically, said, right?
Yeah. So there's that. That's how I'm picturing it.
Honestly, to their credit, I think they set the bar for like how you're supposed to compose a girl group, in terms of just like talents, not maybe I can say that, I don't know, maybe you guys can slap me for saying this, like no one outshines too much over another in this group. You might get like Soyeon or backup dancers or something like that in other groups, but this one, like everyone's got a really good place.
Yeah. Yeah,
that it's really hard to imagine subunits and soloists because like they're you can just tell like they're just meant to be an ingredient, like a piece of the overall puzzle.
Yeah,
consumed together. So yeah, it'd be really hard to imagine like if they don't renew for whatever reason, like where would they go from there?
I don't want to think about it.
Nayeon loves LA. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, Nayeon loves LA. I don't know. It's pretty interesting to see how things will unfold once that time comes, right? We should definitely circle back on this when the time comes.
Well, if I can just put out a bet and a vote, like I think Jihyo and Nayeon have like the most soloist or subunit potential out of the group. So
yeah.
I think Che could be a sneaky solo potential too.
Yeah, she could definitely go down the rap hip hop route.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
She'd kill it.
Or even the R&B route. Yeah, she'd nail it.
Okay. In closing, anything else that you guys wanted to say on the record, on the song, on Twice?
Stream the feels.
Is there any other like super special Twice moment that you had that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I was laughed at by Mina and Sana because so they were talking about 1 in a million. My piece was like them talking about their 5 most prized stories, 5 most prized songs with some stories, the stories behind them. So I'm here, asking the questions like, oh, so what are your, what were your first impressions on this song? What fond memories do you have with it? Your first impressions, and they all talked about concerts and going back to concerts live. And I said something along the lines of, I've been to your concerts in Korea and I've also been to the one here, and I could see how engaging your fans are, and how much of an impact you have with 1 in a million and your fans. And they were saying thank you, and I did this. All I did was like, no problem, right? All I see is Mina going off cam and she starts like giggling. And I'm just like, bro, am I a clown to you? Am I a joke to you? Which is fine. I would love to be a clown for any artist that I meet and talk to. At least I make them laugh. That's all I care about. And Sana like followed suit. And then following that, right? Like probably a minute later, I asked them like, okay, so let's move on to the next song. Like what is your chosen song? They go, Feel Special, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I like that song, right? And then but the audio kind of cut off. So I was like, oh, what song it was? And then I believe it was, who was it? It was Cheong, Nayeon, and Sana who went, oh, Feel Special, right? Then obviously I was like, yeah, that's my favorite song. And I was like, yeah, that's my favorite song. And they were, and so I followed suit. And then like everyone started laughing. So I was like, great. Now I'm just this clown in front of Twice. And it's like their second time seeing me on the camera. So I'm kind of, I don't know. Next time I talk to them, I don't know if it's for the third album. I don't know when, but I kind of just want to hide at this point. But whatever. I'm glad that I
gotta
can make them
turn
laugh.
it into a recurring gag, right? Like, and by the way, for audio listeners, Lai was doing the point dance for each of these songs, and
yes, I was doing the hand pointing. So yeah, I don't know. It was. I'm just glad I could make them
dress
laugh.
up in a tux next time or something.
Yeah, I'm just probably gonna make them laugh at this point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next when I talk to Twice. But yeah, that was probably
you just need
the
to
bit.
do a point dance for like every word in your question. Like,
So I was like, yeah, so what's the next song, guys? Like, let me know, bro. I don't know.
Please
Probably.
do it.
I mean, Momo loved it. She was laughing when I was like doing this. Yeah. So it was great. So we'll see what happens. If I talk to them for the third album and I figure out what the point dance is, then maybe I'll do it. So yeah.
Can you please do that again? That was just great.
This. Yeah. I got it. Nailed it. For everyone who is listening, obviously, I just did the point dance for the feels.
Impeccable dance moves.
Thanks.
Now I know why Mina was laughing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm just a clown. At this point, I'm just a clown for ITZY and Twice. So I guess that's my brand now.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, I would love to make Twice laugh one day.
Yeah,
That would be
exactly.
amazing.
That's why I was like, no regrets. No regrets. At least I didn't give a boring interview,
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
like giving generic questions like who you want to collaborate with. No, I did not ask that.
No, you
No,
were
I
doing
did
this.
not ask that. I did not ask that. I was like, hey, I agree too. And that's great. That's my favorite song. So yeah, that's what happened. I'm just glad I made them laugh.
Nice.
I'll make sure to ask that question in all my artist interviews. So who do you want to collaborate with?
Who do you
and
wanna
I'm doing exactly
collaborate
that tone of voice too.
In that tone.
Who do you want to collaborate with? Suck my ass. Sorry.
Wait, I sorry, not to take us off on too much of a tangent, but like what other like super cliche questions should like people not ever ask?
Like, just don't ask like, what's your favorite flavored ice cream? Like, don't say stupid shit. Like, that's not what we're here for, man. Like don't ask like who you want to collaborate with. Don't ask what your favorite ice cream is. Like, do the research. That's the people want the meat, right? Like, sure, you could dive into the TMIs because like people don't really know what TMI is. Obviously, in the Western culture, it's like literally another word for behind the scenes and other incidents and never before told stories. So there's that. Ask those questions. Those are fun because they kind of dive into like the archives in their head and they start talking about it. So that's when I actually found out that Feel Special was supposed to be a ballad. So yeah, that was interesting. And they were like very skeptical on how it was gonna be told, like how the final product was gonna be told, because Nayeon and Chang were just like, we thought this song didn't suit us when we first heard it. And I was like, yeah, if it was a ballad, I'd say no, you too. But now it's like, if you read the piece, I literally called Feel Special is if crying in the club were personified in a song, it'd be Feel Special. Yeah. So yeah, that was an interesting point to have.
Yeah, I want to. Do you think you could do a ballad version of feel special.
I would actually recommend you listening to JYP's version when he plays it on piano.
JYP on his piano.
Play it in his piano. That's how it originally
Probably
was supposed to be.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to hear that.
With the JYP singing technique.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll wait the Mia cover.
Okay.
The Mia cover is gonna be like God tier.
God tier.
God tier.
Oh, thank you. I did the piano. Well, I did a just piano instrumental cover, but I didn't do like a singing cover of it. So
Okay, now
Not yet
we're
you
waiting.
haven't.
Yeah, not yet.
not yet.
Now you have to.
Now, because I gotta do what the fans want.
We're fans.
Nice.
Do you have
Number
a
one
fan
fans
club
here.
name, Mia?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay.
So we're the nose? Is that what we're called?
No.
Nose.
We should
No,
wait.
that's not
So if you're named Mia B, then we should be called Honey.
Yeah! The honeys.
Oh, I love it.
Or honey. Yeah.
This is why I work in marketing, guys.
Seriously,
I
though.
Okay. We should really wrap up this episode. So, signing off, let our listeners know where they can find you each online and follow your things that you want to promote or plug. So, go ahead first.
All right, so you guys could stalk me. Please, actually, don't stalk me. You could follow me on socials on Twitter and Instagram. That's Lai Francis, LAIFRNCS. You could slide into my DMs and let's talk about K-pop girl groups and so on and so forth. Maybe Squid Game, sure. And then just follow me and my work, I guess, if I have any. So yeah, you could click the link in bio on my Instagram and you could read all of the recent stuff that I've been doing. So yeah, thanks again for having me, guys.
You can follow me on my Twitter at DeweyLee0122, or you can find me on YouTube. I make videos at Dewey Lee Productions. That's Lee with one E. I guess it's Lay. Dewey Lay Productions with an S. And recently I've gotten really into signed Polaroids, twice signed Polaroids, and so I put up a lot of videos and tutorials on that. If you're interested or just want to learn more, just feel free to reach out to me.
I want the Mina Polaroid. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's on. I put it on my friend's will. He's gonna put it on there. Give this to Lai if anything happens to me.
Yes.
Okay, and Mia.
You can find me on Instagram at Mia B Music. So it's MIABEE Music, all in one little word. So it's Mia B Music, and I do a lot of K-pop piano covers and vocal covers there. And I just share a lot of K-pop music that I like in my stories too. So feel free to chat with me about K-pop as well.
All right, I'm at DJ Peterlo on Twitter. You can also follow all of us at the Kpopcast on Twitter. And if you enjoy the critical thinking aspects of our podcast and want to dive into more of the controversial issues and hard conversations in K-pop, you can join us in the Kpopcast Slack. Sorry, I did a neck head shaking. Now everyone's copying me. You can find the link to our Slack in the description of this episode, as well as a link to our newsletters where we can stay in the loop on different things we're doing. Stephanie's penned some great thought pieces as well in our newsletter, so be sure to check those out. Final word, does anyone want to give a mic drop comment?
Stream the feels.
Stream the feels.
Stream the feels.
Stream the feels.
Stand twice.
Oh, and also don't forget to share this episode with all your onces, all your other Twice fans. So, okay. All right. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.
You have stolen my heart, oh yeah. Never let go, oh, oh. Never let go, oh, oh. Lightning straight to my heart, oh yeah. I got the feels for sure. I got the feels for you. Boy, ah, boy, ah, boy, no. I know I get the feels. Boy, ah, boy, ah, boy, no. I know you feel it too.
Daebak
Or not.
I think it, by the way, I'll have you guys know that I started that with way back in, I want to say 2016 or something, just because I wanted to get something radio friendly where people are kind of saying something at the same time. So I created it way back then. And I think it's funny that y'all are more excited about it now than I am. I kind of just limp along, keep it going just out of tradition, but whatever. Okay.
Should we do
so-
another tempo? Want to do it? Like,
Yeah,
Daebak or not?
Let's get the Lie remix going. Yeah. So.
Oh,
so
God.
Say it again. Lie. How fast did you want to say it?
Daebak or not?
Daebak or not? Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Okay.